tell us a little bit about your husband, Michael.
Michael has a very long history of creativity and imagination, which started when he was in kindergarten. His kindergarten teacher told his mother, Michael can make a toy out of anything. Michael's always wanted to be an artist, and his career mostly, he's always been creating and drawing and sculpting, but he did work 12 years as an artist for Hallmark Cards in Kansas City, Missouri. It was a wonderful life. Yeah. He does fine arts, painted for galleries. He's taught high school art up at Mountain Crest and Ridgeline for 10 years. Absolutely love that. And he's currently in the master's program at Utah State, getting his master's in art, and he also teaches a Painting 1 class there.
Wow. And of course we all know that he started this studio, Jump the Moon.
Jump the Moon has been a dream of his for about 6 or 7 years. During his teaching years at the high school, he really found a need that fulfilled him to help those with disabilities because of his own struggles with getting through school with other disabilities of his own. And he just felt that there was a need to help these students and all ages of people be able to create art. So he wanted to create this studio called Jump the Moon. We've been here, oh my gosh, is it 2 years? I've lost track of time. The studio is open for anyone to come and create art. We have open studio on Monday evenings, Wednesday evenings, and Saturday mornings from 9 to 12.
And it's been a huge boon, as we all know, to the community, but sadly, something rather nasty has happened to Michael. What happened?
On March 7th, so just about 2 weeks ago, Michael and I were painting our living room in our house, and he was up on a very high ladder painting the ceiling. And unfortunately, the ladder slipped out from under him, and he fell about 15 to 18 feet on his face. And subsequently, I had to call an ambulance. And we had to life flight him to McCady, and his injuries are pretty severe. He had a skull fracture, a subdural hematoma. He broke his neck. The bones in the neck are C1 and C2, and then a lot of the cervical bones have broken pieces on them. Wow. And then he broke his back. Those fractures are also very significant. The ones that we don't worry that much about, but did occur during the fall, was a clavicle, a couple ribs. He broke this facial bone right here, a couple teeth, and his knee. And he's very broken.
It sounds like it, yeah.
But fortunately, he didn't incur any spinal cord injuries, which is just a miracle and such a blessing for him. Yeah.
So he will, fortunately, we'll all be glad to know, be able to continue his art.
Yes, he has been in the intensive care unit for 12 days. He did have to be intubated, and consequently he now has a trach. We hope that he'll be able to get that trach healed off in a couple more weeks. So he's not able to speak, but his mind is a-going. Since he woke up from that non-responsive state, his mind is a-going, and he's very concerned about his people, his place of art. Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see, it's going to be probably quite a long and involved process of recovery, but he is going to recover, thankfully. So, in order to kind of offset some of the financial burden on this, we're going to do a fundraiser for Michael. It's going to be a GoFundMe page, support Michael's recovery, or at Wells Fargo you can just walk in and make a donation. I'm assuming they've got an account set up in his name.
They do. When you go into the bank, you just ask the teller that you want to make a donation, and you tell them his name, and they'll take care of it right there. The GoFundMe will be on Facebook. A lot of people have shared it, and be greatly appreciated. We're looking at maybe after this month, 2 months in the hospital, when we get home, they said it could be 3 to 4 months with him healing from these fractures.
Wow. I mean, nobody has this kind of money laying around. Well, you told me something funny that Michael, he couldn't speak, so he wrote it down. And what was the first thing he wrote?
Oh, really, the first thing? Well,
about the money.
Okay, he said, he said, how much is this going to cost? Yeah. And I just laughed, because this was, I mean, he has no memory of the last 10 days,
Yeah.
basically. And I erased it and I said, we are so beyond that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
But then I said, don't worry, if this gets too expensive, we'll just put you down. and you know, that alarmed
And
the
hopefully
nurses.
she was kidding.
That alarmed the nurses, but Michael and I have a very humorous relationship.
Yes, you do, and probably much needed at this particular time, a good sense of humour. So if you're tech savvy, you can get on the computer and go to the GoFundMe page. Is it listed under any particular name?
You could just support Michael's recovery.
Support Michael's recovery. And then of course you can go to Wells Fargo. Now we're back in the studio for a minute and looking around. Some of these things I can't even believe.
Yes.
The artwork that you've got. Michael's astronaut. Tell us a little bit about that right there.
That was a public art piece that was done for Salt Lake City. Their theme was flying objects. This is the second one he did. The other one, if you remember, was a cow jumping over the moon with a rocket pack on its back.
Right.
That one almost caused some marital problems. It took so long. But this astronaut was in Salt Lake for about 3 years, and we were able to bring it back and put it in the studio.
So one of just the many things going on here. Who do you encourage to come in to the studio?
We encourage, well, it's open to anyone, but anybody with, we like to call them diverse abilities. And if you come and look at the art, it's all done by children and adults. They can come and create and do anything there, you know, that makes them happy, that helps them to create. And Michael's really working hard to make adaptive tools for people. So we actually have a wheelchair that he designed that you can ride it around on a canvas on the floor.
Over there, yeah.
Yes, and what he's trying to do is help these artists come in to our studio and be able to refine their art so that they can actually sell it and make an income from it. That's really what the goal is.
Oh, that's wonderful. Getting people established on their own 2 feet, as it were. Sorry about that. You know, realistically, any sort of ability, even if you think you don't have any art in you, come on down here to Jump the Moon, because Michael and his staff here just have a wonderful ability to help you get your ability out.
That's beautiful.
And if you look, just come round and have a look. It is amazing. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. One more plug, support Michael's recovery on GoFundMe, and if you want to just stop by a Wells Fargo bank too, and you can. Michael and yourself and all the staff here have given so much to the community. I think it would be lovely if we all gave a little bit back. Thanks so much, Suzanne.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.